What if I told you there were airplanes so dangerous, so flawed, or even so secret that they were banned from flying? Some of them were disasters waiting to happen, while others were just too ahead of their time, or too risky for the world to handle. From deadly crashes to nuclear-powered nightmares, these aircraft were completely grounded. Why were they erased from history? What really happened? Stay tuned. But before we dive into the video, do me a quick favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, you won't regret it. Concorde, the supersonic dream that turned into a nightmare. It was sleek, futuristic, and could fly at twice the speed of sound. The Concorde was a marvel of engineering, a supersonic passenger jet that cut travel times in half and promised to redefine air travel. But its story took a tragic turn. In 2000, Air France Flight 4590 burst into flames just minutes after takeoff. A small piece of metal on the runway punctured the fuel tank, causing a catastrophic fire that killed all 113 people on board. The crash shattered public confidence, but the problems didn't stop there. The Concorde's sonic booms were so loud that most countries banned it from flying over land. And with astronomical maintenance costs and low passenger demand, airlines were losing millions every year. By 2003, the dream was over. Concorde was officially retired, and commercial supersonic flight disappeared with it. But could supersonic travel make a comeback? Companies like Boom Supersonic and NASA's X-59 are working on new aircraft that could bring back the era of high-speed air travel. Would you fly supersonic if it returned? Let me know in the comments. The plane that crashed twice, Boeing 737 MAX. Imagine boarding a brand new airplane, trusting its cutting-edge technology, only to realize that a hidden software flaw could send it straight into the ground. That was the terrifying reality of the Boeing 737 MAX. In 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 crashed into the sea, killing all 189 passengers and crew. It was the first major accident involving the new 737 MAX series, introduced in 2017. The Indonesian government found debris and human remains soon after searching a 280 kilometers area. Just 5 months later, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 suffered the same fate. The cause? A faulty MCOS software system that forced the plane's nose down, leaving pilots powerless to stop it. The world was in shock. What followed was the largest global aircraft grounding in history. Governments banned the 737 MAX from the skies, forcing Boeing into an emergency redesign. After 2 years of investigations and major safety upgrades, the aircraft was cleared to fly again in 2020. But passengers still fear it, so much so that some airlines have secretly renamed the model to avoid bad press. Would you fly on a 737 MAX today? Or is it still too risky? The Soviet Union didn't just want to compete with the Concorde, they wanted to beat it at all costs. They rushed into production to prove Soviet engineering dominance. But in their race to be first, they overlooked one crucial detail: safety. This made it notoriously unreliable and unpleasant to fly. At the 1973 Paris Air Show, in front of 250,000 spectators, the Tu-144 performed a steep climb, stalled mid-air, and violently crashed, killing all on board. The world watched in horror. Despite the disaster, the Soviets pressed on, forcing the Tu-144 into passenger service. But those who flew it hated the experience. It was deafeningly loud, uncomfortably hot, and dangerously unstable. After just 55 passenger flights, the project was quietly shut down in 1983. Later, NASA used the Tu-144 for supersonic research, but it never carried passengers again. Do you think the Soviets copied the Concorde, or was it just bad luck? The world's first commercial jet was supposed to change aviation forever. And it did, but not in the way engineers had hoped. The de Havilland Comet was a sleek, futuristic aircraft that gave passengers their first taste of high-speed jet travel. But then, the explosion started. In 1954, 3 separate comets mysteriously disintegrated in mid-air, killing hundreds of people. Investigators were baffled, until they discovered the horrifying truth. The plane's square windows created stress points that led to cracks in the fuselage. Over time, the pressure built up until the aircraft literally tore itself apart in flight. By the time engineers fixed the design, it was too late. Boeing had already taken over the jet market with the 707, and the Comet was doomed to history. Imagine boarding a plane that could explode mid-flight. Would you dare? The nuclear-powered plane, Convair NB-36H. A nuclear-powered airplane sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but in the 1950s, it was terrifyingly real. The Convair NB-36H was an experimental bomber designed to stay in the air for days, or even weeks, without refueling. The catch? It carried an actual nuclear reactor on board. Scientists quickly realized the horrifying risks. If the plane crashed, it could trigger a nuclear catastrophe. Even in normal operation, radiation leaks were a constant danger. Pilots had to sit inside a heavily shielded cockpit, but there was no way to protect the entire crew. Eventually, the US government shut the project down. But some believe that China and Russia may still be experimenting with nuclear-powered planes today. Should we try nuclear-powered aircraft again, or is it just too dangerous? Let's debate in the comments. These planes were banned, but aviation keeps evolving. Which one of these banned aircraft intrigued you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you love crazy aviation stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.